what I want to point out to you here is if you look at the 15 to 19, or sort of the teenage years, this is the proportion of kids who are meeting guidelines, average across the week. So this is like those that might be meeting it on one day, these that might be meeting the guidelines in 6 or more days, which is what we're looking for. So this is where the pathetic numbers come from. 15 to 19-year-old kids are the worst. So the younger kids, 6 to 10, there's a little bit more of them that are meeting the guidelines. 11 to 14, you can see that there's a dramatic decrease. But the adolescents, and adolescents, I understand there's all sorts of competing interests. There's so many things going on in an adolescent's life. Of course, physical activity might not be a priority. But what I'm saying to you, and I hope you will go home with, is that they should be encouraged as much as they can to be physically active, because they are the target group. They are the group that is the least active of all the childhood groups. So as a parent, what can you do? What I would suggest is turn off the TV and go outside. There's research to suggest that children that spend more time outside are more active and healthier because of it. Encourage active transportation. So you can pretty much ignore all this stuff on the side. I borrowed this from the Public Health Agency of Canada. So active transportation is biking, walking, skateboarding, rollerblading to get where you need to go. So your child needs to go to school. If they live less than a kilometer away from school, you don't need to drive them, they don't need to take the bus, they can walk there, they can bike there, they can skateboard, they can rollerblade. They can get to school with their own 2 feet. And I really think that this is something that we've come away from as well. I know that when I was young, when I was a child, through all of my years of school, I never took a school bus to school. And I lived far away from school for the most part, and it was just an expectation. They didn't bus you if you lived less than, 8 kilometers from the school or something. You had to get there on your own, and generally we walked, we biked. At the time there wasn't rollerblades, but we walked or we biked to get there, and it was just what everybody did. Unfortunately, that's less encouraged now. There's lots of local opportunities to get active, so what I would suggest too is you can look for things. Community centers often offer team programs. They have things specific for kids. There's family programs too, where you and your team can get involved. There's, for instance, family Zumba. I don't know if you know what Zumba is, but it's kind of a fun dance, like sort of Latin dance, aerobic dance class. And I know that at the gym that I belong to, there's several mother-daughter, I haven't seen a mother-son pair, but mother-daughter pairs that go to Zumba Fitness together, and it's a fun activity that you can do together. You don't need to be super coordinated, you follow the instructor, make a fool of yourself, really. That's the way I look at it. It's just fun, and it's an activity that isn't a sport. It's an activity that's just for fun that both of you can do together. Hip-hop dance classes. There's several youth conditioning programs. The YMCA offers a few of them.
What do you mean youth conditioning? What is that?
So that would be weight training. That they teach somebody how to do for youth to do some weight training. So you can, the public health, I think it's the Ottawa Public Health, you could probably look on their website. They would help you out, or the YMCA would certainly be able to lead you in the right direction. So that's sort of an introduction to exercise training and some resistance training. There's things like 3-on-3 beach soccer tournaments. So again, if you're playing soccer on the beach, if you're not good at it, it's less obvious. If you're playing on a field and everybody has the fancy equipment and everybody's been playing forever, if you're not that skilled, it's much more obvious. You're taking all of those advantages away when you play in the sand. So this is a way that you can encourage people that might be less coordinated to be involved and still have fun. These are some of these examples are things that some of my staff told me. Laser Quest, I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but it's,
I've been there.
Laser tag, and it's active, like you're sweating when you come out of there. We did it
I always go out to the park for hiking for lunch, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
We just climb up and
Fun.
for 2 hours.
Fantastic. See? You're already there. You don't need my advice. You know
What
what to do
you
with
know,
yours.
Costs
You
money,
always
right?
listen to good
The laser
music.
tag does cost money. Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. It's not overly expensive. It's probably cheaper than a cell phone bill for your kids. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes. I think when I went with my children and my teens, it used to cost like $10.
$10?
I don't know how much more. No, now it's more.
Is it more?
I'm expecting more. Life change, right?
Yeah, well, everything. And I'm not necessarily saying that needs to be done, but instead of giving, oftentimes kids go to the movies, which I know is an enjoyable social activity, but instead of going to the movies, if you're going to pay for them to go to the movies, why don't you say, instead of going to the movies with your friends where you're going to sit for 2 hours, why don't you go and play laser tag? It's going to cost you $10 or give you $10. Don't use it for the movie and the popcorn, because popcorn's laden with fat and butter anyways. Go and, go and do something a little bit more active. Go and play laser tag. It's still social, it's still fun, and you're running around. So
Personally,
personally,
that whenever we go to a movie, they demand more. They want a junk food.
yeah.
They want a that. They want a that. So like, okay, I said myself. I said, okay, when you go to a movie, either you eat healthy food, or normal food.
And it's true, and it's very difficult too, because that environment is poised for that, right? They know that they've got a captive audience, they've got people in there, the people are in there to watch a movie, and it smells good, and everything that they have on display looks good, and it's not good. It's, most of the food that they sell at the movie theater, let's be honest, is terrible for you. It's like the lowest of the totem pole sort of things. If you're going to choose to eat something, it's like the worst stuff that you should be eating. I'm not saying that you shouldn't treat yourself. Everybody deserves a treat, and it's fine every once in a while. But the problem is, if you go to the movie, you're going to sit for 2 hours, and then you're going to eat the giant bucket of popcorn that's got, I don't know how much trans fat in it, and it's expensive too. Like, that stuff isn't cheap. What I wanted to show you is, I was saying, sometimes you have to be creative when you're going to think of activities for your kids. And I want to show you this video of an example of how you can get people active. I'm not sure if you've seen this before. So, I wonder if I can, sorry. So this group in Stockholm was trying to see if they could get people to make the active choice rather than the less active choice. So if you recall, before they started this, everybody was taking the escalator up in the subway. So just an example, all of these people would have been going up the escalator before. You notice how few people are choosing the escalator now. So just a change to make things more active and make things more exciting. 66 more people chose the active. So this is just an example of them trying to change the environment to make it more fun for the people to choose the healthy choice. And it worked. So I just wanted to show you that as an example, because I think it's the truth. Like, I really think that sometimes if you can just modify the environment and make the healthy choice the easy choice. Unfortunately, our lifestyle has evolved in such a way that the unhealthy choice is the easiest. If you're ever, for instance, I work in a hospital. Can you find the stairs in the hospital? Very, very difficult. You can find the elevator. Signs to the elevator. You would know this, right?
Yeah,
So you
but
would have
the
to
stairs will just stop somewhere.
and the stairs don't go up to the 5th floor, for instance. You have to take the elevator up. So it's just an example of, here we are in a hospital, we're supposed to be the providers of, if anything, appropriate, healthy behaviors, and here we are, we don't even practice what we preach. So the environment and the social environment that kids are in is very important. So my biggest suggestion is that just make sure that you're creating or providing for your kids the most engaging environment that you can when it comes to physical activity. So not only to encourage them, but also if you yourself can participate with them, because you are your child's #1 role model. So you might forget that as a parent because you're so involved in the parenting piece of it, but really your children, whether they admit it or not, they do follow your behavior. And because you are their parents and you are who they see most of the time, they are going to do what you do. So if you're showing them, if you're modeling good behavior and modeling a physically active lifestyle, likely they will do the same.